Disclaimer. This conversation is a fictional dramatization created for illustrative purposes and is not intended to serve as medical advice. If you or someone you know is experiencing symptoms of a mental health condition or any other concern, please consult a licensed healthcare professional or mental health specialist. Always seek the advice of qualified medical professionals for diagnosis and treatment options. In the rush of daily life, we often overlook the quiet impact of our habits. The way we plan our time, the pressure we place on ourselves, and the moments we allow for rest. Each choice, whether conscious or routine, shapes the rhythm of our minds. A day packed with obligations and little pause can unravel our patience, while mindful breaks and intentional self-care can restore clarity. Stress is not merely an inconvenience. It is a force that, when left unchecked, erodes our well-being. Yet, in the same way that small habits can drain us, they can also heal. The balance we strike between effort and ease, structure and spontaneity, determines not just how we feel in a moment but how we thrive in the long run. This brings us to the story of Alex and Jamie, two colleagues with different approaches to winding down after a long day. Alex and Jamie had been colleagues for years, navigating the fast-paced demands of their industry together. Their desks sat side by side, their calendars packed with back-to-back meetings, and their inboxes flooded with urgent emails. Over time, they had developed a friendship built on shared experiences, venting about tight deadlines, celebrating small victories, and exchanging knowing glances when the pressure became overwhelming. Yet, despite working in the same environment and facing similar stressors, Alex and Jamie had vastly different ways of coping with the daily grind. Alex had long believed in the power of intentional relaxation, incorporating structured techniques into his routine to manage stress. Jamie, on the other hand, preferred quick distractions, often reaching for his phone to escape the chaos, hoping that mindless scrolling would bring some relief. After another grueling day at work, both men arrived home, seeking respite from the weight of their responsibilities. Though they shared the same goal, to unwind and relax, their chosen methods led them down very different paths. Alex stepped into his dimly lit apartment, rolling out a yoga mat in the center of his living room. He took a deep breath, inhaling the calm of the space he had intentionally created. Sitting cross-legged, he closed his eyes and focused on his breath, allowing the tension in his shoulders to melt away. For the next 20 minutes, "This is my time to disconnect from work and reconnect with myself," he murmured, settling into his mindfulness meditation. Meanwhile, Jamie collapsed onto the couch in his cluttered living room. Without thinking, he reached for his phone and began scrolling through his social media feed. A mix of funny memes, news updates, and heated debates filled his screen. Just a quick scroll to unwind. Maybe a little distraction will help me forget the stress of the day, he thought. At first, both found what they were looking for. Alex's intentional breathing and progressive muscle relaxation brought a sense of calm, while Jamie's mind was temporarily preoccupied by the endless stream of content. But as the minutes passed, their experiences diverged. With each exhale, Alex felt lighter, more present, and in control. His thoughts slowed, and his body responded to the stillness he cultivated. Jamie, on the other hand, found himself sinking deeper into a different kind of tension. The light-hearted videos that had distracted him were quickly replaced by a heated argument in the comments section. His heart rate spiked as he read through the back-and-forth exchanges, feeling inexplicably drawn into the negativity. The more he scrolled, the more anxious he became. Over time, Jamie noticed a pattern. His nightly routine wasn't helping him unwind. If anything, it left him feeling more exhausted and restless. He began struggling to fall asleep, his mind buzzing with unresolved stress. One evening, frustrated and overwhelmed, he finally admitted to himself that he needed help. Taking a deep breath, he picked up his phone again, this time to make an appointment. "Hi, I'd like to schedule a session with Dr. Rivera. I've been feeling really anxious, and I think I need some guidance." When Jamie arrived at Dr. Rivera's office, the warm lighting and inviting decor immediately put him at ease. The doctor greeted him with a reassuring smile. "Tell me, Jamie," Dr. Rivera began, "what have you been doing to relax after work?" Jamie hesitated before answering. I usually scroll through social media. At first it seemed to help, but lately it just makes me feel worse. I get stuck in these loops of negative thoughts, and I feel even more anxious than before. Dr. Rivera nodded knowingly. That's very common. Social media has a way of amplifying stress, rather than reducing it. Keeps your brain engaged in ways that aren't always healthy. But the good news is, there are other ways to manage stress, ways that can actually help you feel more in control. Jamie leaned forward, eager to hear more. Let's start with cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, Dr. Rivera continued, drawing a simple diagram on the whiteboard. This technique helps you identify and reframe negative thought patterns. When you find yourself spiraling, we'll work on ways to interrupt that cycle and redirect your focus. Jamie nodded. That makes sense. I often get caught in these mental loops, replaying stressful situations over and over. Exactly, Dr. Rivera said. We'll also integrate mindfulness-based stress reduction. It's similar to what Alex does. Meditation, breathwork, and focusing on the present moment. These practices engage your mind in a way that actively reduces stress, rather than just distracting you from it. Jamie felt a spark of hope. For the first time in a while, he saw a way forward. One more thing, Dr. Rivera added. We'll introduce relaxation techniques like deep breathing and progressive muscle relaxation. They're simple but incredibly effective, especially during high-stress moments. Determined to break his old habits, Jamie left the office with a plan. That evening, instead of reaching for his phone, he set a timer for 10 minutes and tried a guided meditation. He closed his eyes, focused on his breathing, and for the first time in weeks, he felt a genuine sense of calm. This is different, he thought. I'm not just distracting myself. I'm actually managing my stress. Meanwhile, Alex continued his own journey. Though his relaxation techniques had always worked, he knew that self-care was an ongoing process. In a follow-up session with his therapist, he shared a lingering challenge. My meditation and journaling help a lot, but sometimes certain thoughts stick with me. I struggle to shake them off. His therapist nodded. Try integrating mindfulness throughout your day, not just in the evenings. A few minutes here and there can help you maintain that balance, even in stressful moments. Both Alex and Jamie were learning that stress management wasn't just about what they did at the end of the day. It was about building habits that created resilience over time. Months later, the impact was undeniable. I feel so much more balanced now, Alex said one evening, chatting with a friend. Mindfulness and CBT exercises have made a huge difference in how I handle stress. Jamie, in a follow-up session with Dr. Rivera, echoed the sentiment. I've cut down on social media, and I use mindfulness and CBT to manage my stress. I feel more in control and less reactive. It's been a huge shift. Dr. Rivera smiled. That's the key: intentionality and consistency. Active stress management leads to long-term peace. Their journeys were different, yet they converged on the same truth. Stress couldn't be avoided, but it could be managed. Passive distractions like social media might offer momentary relief, but true peace came from active, mindful engagement. In the end, the choice was clear. One path led to temporary escape, while the other led to lasting resilience. As we saw in Alex and Jamie's story, the way we manage stress can shape our mental well-being. Passive distractions may provide temporary relief, but active relaxation techniques lead to real, lasting balance. In contrast, active relaxation techniques bolstered by the structured psychotherapeutic approaches offered by psychiatric providers can transform how we manage stress, leading to a healthier, more balanced life.